Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. We've got a packed show for you, but first, let's take a look at a developing story that's been making headlines in Southeast Asia. Tensions between Thailand and Cambodia have escalated into violence, with both countries exchanging fire along their shared border. The conflict has been simmering for months, but things took a turn for the worse earlier this week when Cambodia launched rocket and artillery strikes against Thai military positions. Thailand has responded with airstrikes, and the situation is growing increasingly dire. According to reports, at least 20 people have been killed and many more injured in the fighting, which has also forced thousands of civilians to flee the area. The conflict is centered around a disputed border region, with both countries claiming sovereignty over the territory. We want to give you a balanced view of this story, so let's take a look at what's being said by both sides. The Cambodian government claims that Thailand has been making aggressive moves along the border, and that they're simply defending their territory. On the other hand, the Thai government says that Cambodia is the one who's been provoking them, and that they're acting in self-defense. It's a complex situation, and there are many factors at play here. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops, and we'll bring you updates as more information becomes available. The international community is also weighing in on the conflict, with the United Nations Security Council set to hold an emergency meeting to discuss the situation. Malaysia, which is currently chairing the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, has called for an immediate ceasefire and is urging both sides to engage in peaceful dialogue. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the people of Thailand and Cambodia are the ones who will suffer the most if this conflict is not brought under control soon. We'll be following this story closely and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're halfway through today's show and we've got a fascinating pair of stories to share with you. Let's dive into the latest developments from Russia. We've got two significant updates for you, both coming out of Moscow. First, the Russian central bank has announced a 2% cut in interest rates, marking a shift away from its inflation-fighting stance. This move is expected to make borrowing more affordable for businesses and consumers, but it may also lead to increased inflation down the line. The bank's decision comes after months of high interest rates, which have helped to tame soaring inflation, but also made borrowing expensive. On the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin has called for an expansion of the country's nuclear submarine fleet, citing the importance of maintaining sovereignty and security. Putin emphasized the crucial role that the Navy's submarine forces play in protecting Russia's interests and contributing to regional and global stability. The plan includes the construction of 4 new nuclear-capable Bore-class submarines, which will be armed with Bulava ballistic missiles. It's essential to consider both sides of these stories. While the interest rate cut may provide relief for businesses and consumers, it also raises concerns about potential inflationary pressures. Similarly, the expansion of Russia's nuclear submarine fleet can be seen as a move to enhance national security, but it also has implications for global stability and the balance of power. We'll continue to monitor these developments and bring you updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that Russia is taking steps to address its economic and security concerns, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how these decisions play out. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Good evening and welcome back to the Concrete Block. I'm your host, Walter, and we're wrapping up another informative episode of our podcast. Tonight, we're focusing on some significant developments coming out of Russia. Firstly, let's dive into the latest from President Vladimir Putin, who has urged investigators to defend what he terms traditional values and combat information sabotage. In a video address, Putin emphasized the importance of safeguarding these values, which he believes are under threat from foreign interference. This directive expands upon earlier efforts by the Kremlin to monitor the activities of foreign governments, media organizations, and NGOs. It's essential to note that this move has been met with concerns from various groups, including the LGBTQE community in Russia, who already face significant challenges and discrimination. The Kremlin's stance on these issues has been a subject of international debate and criticism. In another development, Putin has also called for the expansion of Russia's nuclear submarine fleet. This announcement comes amidst ongoing geopolitical tensions and has sparked discussions about the implications for global security. Additionally, we've seen significant economic moves from Russia, including a 2% rate cut by the central bank, signaling a shift away from inflation fighting. This decision could have far-reaching effects on the Russian economy and its interactions with the global market. It's crucial to approach these stories with a nuanced perspective, recognizing the complexities of international relations and the diverse viewpoints involved. At Concrete Block, we strive to provide balanced information, encouraging our listeners to engage critically with the news. As we close this episode, I want to thank you for joining us on this journey through the latest developments from Russia. It's essential to stay informed about global events and their potential impacts on our lives. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.